How's it going, guys? So as you can see in the background, this is going to be our next playthrough. Now, I didn't really want to do any big major games that were going to take forever. Outlast I would consider more of a medium level type of game. It's not going to take too long, but it'll get you through the month. So I believe Outlast came out in 2012, I believe. Um, Ever since Outlast came out, it has been one of the top, I'd say, three horror games from that time period all the way up to now that has scared the living crap out of anyone who's ever played it. Now, if you know me in horror games, occasionally, on a rare occasion, a jump scare might actually get me, uh, but I just play horror games just for the joy of it. Now, with most horror games, if I ever decide to play them, I prefer ones you can allow to fight back. Stuff like Doom and stuff like that. Outlast is not one of those games. It's one of those ones where you have to hide or you die. As you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of those games because if you can't fight back in a horror game, there's just no point in playing a horror game at all. Most people just do it for the jump scares, for the adrenaline rush of being scared and stuff like that. I pretty much just laugh at it most of the time anyways. Um, Now, for Outlast, I have watched tons of playthroughs of Outlast. I've been watching Outlast since it first came out, all the way up till now. However, I've never played the game myself because I've never had the PC to be able to run it. I actually downloaded it on my old PC just to see if I could actually run it, but the game was a little staggery. You could see the little lag spikes going, and I was like, not worth it. We'll wait until we get a better PC. You know, three something else years later, I finally get a new PC. Um, I did a test run of it to make sure it actually runs. It goes up from like very low settings up to like very high. Uh, I tested both ones. I didn't really see a difference in the graphics. I just think that's mostly because it's a 2012 game. You may have on background, so I do apologize. Uh, but I didn't really notice. It just seems gritty no matter what. So I don't know if that's just the graphics or what it is. So if the game seems gritty and not like 4K, that's probably the reason why. I don't have 4K either. I don't think I ever will. That shit's too damn expensive. So it'd be broken into the playthroughs. Technically, this would be somewhat of a blind playthrough, even though I've actually watched the game. You know, I'm not going to have every single memory of every single moment of every single puzzle you have to do. You know, right off the bat, you know, there's a killer on the left, so we're going to go to the right. Not going to happen. I want to see Outlast is 8-10 hours at most, depending on how far you get into the puzzles, how much you get stuck, how many times you die. I will be making each video is about 30 minutes. Now, I normally don't do that because my internet is a pile of crap, so it would literally take forever to load it. We're talking like 3 or 4 hours for a 30-minute video. Hell, even with a 20-minute video, it still takes me like 2.5 hours. But I'm gonna make them 30 minutes just because it makes more sense. Something about Outlast, you're not really gonna get much done in 20 minutes. Now, we got that out of the way. Outlast is a horror game. Except it's not like any horror games you were to say it has a bunch of monsters and a bunch of creatures and all that stuff like that. Outlast is more R-rated. So there is forms of sexuality, there is forms of nudity in the game. People getting dismembered, you know, tons of gore, a bunch of gnarly shit in this game. And it is, at the time, was considered one of the most gnarly horror games to ever be made because of that reason. Outlast 2 is even worse. And apparently there was like Outlast 3, The Trials, which is technically not Outlast 3, but you know, something they just threw out there to give people something to play. I do know there is Outlast Whistleblower, which is a DLC. We may or may not get to play that. We'll see how it goes. Yes, so fair warning on that. There is excessive cursing in this game too. When it comes to the nudity in this game, I will either block it out or you will be fair warned in the beginning of every one of my videos. Because of that reason, and this game is extremely 18 years plus. So this is a game not for the faint-hearted, especially if you're squeamish to blood or forms of disfigurement in this game. I finally get to play it, so I think this is going to be our next playthrough. We will be taking a break from The Walking Zombie 2 just because there's 100 levels, and we just finished the first city level-esque. It kind of plays like The Walking Dead meets Dead Island, in a sense, where you start off on like a little starter place, and then you continue to move on through different cities and towns and crap like that. The game kind of plays like that, based on levels that you proceed. And there's like 100 levels, so there's gonna be at least maybe 10 different places you go. So it's kind of like, I'm getting kind of burnt out on playing this game. Frankly, it's a little too easy too. We're gonna be honest. But I will be excited to play this. Now, this will probably not be released until next Monday. Whether or not I'm even working next Monday, I have no idea. I usually don't work Mondays and Tuesdays because those are my only days to get anything done. So for this week, I have 2 videos that will be coming out. One's going to be based around Rust. There's going to be this one, and then there's going to be a Death Battle 1, Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Those will be out sometime this week. And that'll be that. So just want to keep you guys informed on that. This is going to be our next game playthrough. And I know there's tons of people who do Outlast, but if you managed to check out my videos and stop by my channel and watch me play it, much appreciated. But either way, stay safe, healthy, and sanitized. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and leave comments below. Make sure to share my videos. And like I said, when it comes to horror games, I really don't take them too seriously. So if you're looking for someone, looking for a streamer or a YouTuber who's going to get really scared in Outlast, it ain't going to be me. You know, if you're looking for more of that, you know, kind of throwing a little dad humor or a little dad comedy in there, or just random jokes, you know, just kind of cheer you up while you're getting scared out of your mind from jump scare this in this game, this is a channel for you. But I'll see you guys.